All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the ASAP Afternoon Blitz, Monday, January. That's too many twos and threes in there on today's date. especially if you just go one. Especially if you just go 123, 323, they'll put the 2000 in there. Hey, Jay, I gotta take this real quick.
You're fine. Take what you gotta take. Let me say one thing. I invited Frankie Cruz Jr. to come on the show.
Yes.
So we can have a discussion. By the way, Gonzo, you need to mute yourself. I'm just saying, I invited Frankie Cruz Jr. to come on this show so we can have a discussion about the playoffs over the weekend. As you can see, Frankie Cruz Jr. is not here. Now, let me say this. All right. Hey, are you done with your phone call?
Hello?
And you're muted now.
I thought I didn't have it muted. I thought
no, man, I'm listening to your whole phone call. I'm like, Gonzo, mute your damn phone, man. Damn. No, Gonzo, hey. I mean, I was just saying when you.
I was confirming my doctor appointment for in the morning.
Hey, listen, that doctor not going nowhere. You got all day to confirm that shit. He ain't going nowhere. Look, I told Frankie in the group chat, Gonzo, I think you may have saw. I said, Frankie Cruz Jr., you need to get your ass up on here in the show. And do you see a Frankie Cruz Jr. anywhere on this set? Now, I'm okay with talking shit. I'm okay with talking smack. I'm okay with going on Facebook and saying whatever it is you got to say. But damn it, when I challenge you to a face-off, uno my muno, face-to-face, eyeball to eyeball, and you can't give me the same common courtesy, well, then there you go. That's about how far I throw Frankie Cruz Jr.'s opinion. About 2 inches. Same size as his penis. God.
Son of a bitch. Oh, fuck.
No, but hey, Frankie been busting my balls.
Let's start.
Hey,
let's go ahead and start with
Frankie
Saturday's
been busting
game.
my balls, though. Hey, Gonzo, Frankie been busting my balls ever since last night. He's been busting my balls, man. And I keep. Hey, how about them Cowboys? Look, everybody knows, and this is what Frankie was trying to. Gonzo, I gotta say that because Frankie's been all morning. He's been posting shit all over Facebook, and I just gotta address this. Look, man, y'all know this. Everybody who knows me knows. I've been telling you all along. I did not expect the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. I only expected the Cowboys to win the wild card. That's it. I've been saying Frankie is a pussy since day one when I met Frankie.
Oh, shit.
Okay, let's be clear about that. Let's be clear about that. Hey, look, man, when Frankie can't even get out there and shovel his own snow, come on. But Gonzo, Frankie been out there saying, well, Jay, and Frankie, I will tell you this. Nobody knows me probably better than Frankie. I've known Frankie for a long time. He knows my family. We've communicated. So, yeah, I'm not saying that Frankie doesn't know me. He's my brother. You know what I'm saying? You might not realize a Puerto Rican resemblance, but there's a little bit there. Except in the penis region. But no.
But AP,
hey, right here, saying all along, Gonzo. They've been saying you knew Dak would. I know that. That's what I've been saying, Gonzo. How many times did I say, okay, look, if the Dallas could go out there and play Dallas defense, and if the offense can do what they do, and if Dak can just not give up the ball via interception, fumble, or whatever, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna win that game. And as you saw, everything came to fruition, everything except the one. And Dak Prescott cost us. Everybody knows Dak Prescott cost us. Hey, you can throw Mike McCarthy in there too. I've never had Mike McCarthy. I will tell you, the 2 things that are wrong from Dallas is McCarthy and Dak. And if you want to go to the root of those 2 symptoms, because let's be honest, Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy are symptoms. The root cause of Dallas's failure at this point is Jerry Jones.
Well, I think three things that Dallas need hurt Dallas right now. Dak Prescott is one. The offensive coordinator.
Right.
I've never been a big fan of Kellen Moore, and then I think they need another receiver. They need another weapon on the outside to go with CD Lamb.
Well, you know what though, but Gonzo, and I hear what you're saying, but at the same time,
Gallup is not consistent enough.
Hey, brother. Hey, at the same time, look,
and right here when Pollard, AP's right. When Pollard went down, that really hurt you guys.
Yeah, it did because it took a lot of that east-west running. By the way, stat guys here. It took a lot of the east-west running away from the Cowboys and gave them only the power rush, which was from Ezekiel Elliott. But here's the deal. I don't care. People can say, well, you know, and guys, I'm not trying to pick on you, but people say, well, you know, if Dallas had a better coordinator, if Dallas, you know, had one more tool to complement, you know, whatever. No. And I'm going to tell you why. Because at the end of the day, I don't care how many weapons you put out there. I don't care how many coordinators you put out there. At the end of the day, when Dak is the one throwing the ball and Dak is giving you 3 interceptions.
No. I agree. The offensive coordinator and another weapon. Yeah. I've never thought Dak was that guy. At
the beginning, I kind of thought he was because I felt like when he first came into the league, I was like, you know, I'm gonna keep giving him. I'm gonna give him the benefits. I'm not a fan of Garrett. I'm not a fan of McCarr. I'm giving the after. I gotta be honest with you. The last year, the stat guy, I'm sure you played it. The last year, this whole last year, Dak has just not looked. He's looked horrible. And now you could probably say you could blame the thumb injury, right? You could probably say, well, you know, Jay, he wasn't able to grip the ball right. Maybe it's like. But sometimes when you're staring down a receiver and the defense sees you staring down a receiver and yet you still throw the damn ball and it gets picked off and you can't figure out why, that's more than just a thumb issue.
Yeah. But Damian Maurer that first one got blocked, the one he missed, but he was going to miss it if it didn't get blocked. But he kicked good. After that, he kicked all right. Yeah. But that first one got blocked.
Yeah.
Which I don't think he would have made it if it wouldn't have got blocked, though. It looked like it was going to the left big time. How's it going, Stat Guy?
It's crazy.
Hey, I got a better connection now.
Hey, sometimes it's hard to get a good connection.
Hey, listen, I've had bad connections all the time, too. It's how weather out there. This weather's been – that's another thing, man. This damn weather's just been crazy. We look all the way from Buffalo to probably Indianapolis, Michigan, whatever, all the way down to here. And in Georgia, it's just horrible all the way around.
Well, let me ask you a question real quick before we get back to the football. What's horrible in Georgia? What's the temperature?
No, trust me, Georgia doesn't get as bad as you guys get. The problem with Georgia is it can't make up its mind. You can go from a nice 70 or a 68, 67 light breeze, feeling beautiful. And then 6 hours later, after you didn't wear the jacket because you didn't think you needed the jacket, and 6 hours later, it's balls to nut, 39 degrees, and it's got a 15-mile-an-hour wind, and you're like, the fuck?
Hey, Jay, that's like April. That's like April in Wisconsin, Jay, where it can be like 75 and sunny at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then the next day it can be in the 20s.
Yeah, it's been 70 here one day, and you wake up next morning and have 3 inches of snow on the ground.
Yeah, you know, my problem with the North is you guys just don't get enough sun. No, seriously, the North does not get enough. If you go up north, you will pretty much see either a gray sky or maybe a blue sky, but you will not see, very rarely will you see the sun. Most of you see clouds.
Hey, yeah, and the funny thing is we're January 23rd right now. 18 of the 23 days of January, we've had cloudy skies in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I lived there for 2 years, and I visited for 19 years. I know all about how Wisconsin does things. I love how you can be there in July, in Milwaukee in July, and it still feels like damn near 59 degrees in the morning. I'm like, what the hell, man?
We're supposed to get another big snowstorm here in the next here in a couple of days here in the Midwest.
Hey, by the way, Frankie's excuse was, I'm cleaning up my daughter's room at the moment. Hey, listen, I would use that same excuse with Blue. I gotta go take Blue out for a walk. I mean, come on.
No,
come on. You ain't got a phone in there. You can't phone and multitask at the same time.
Yeah, Dallas, but no, Dallas, back to Dallas real quick. Your defense done everything. I mean, your defense played great. I mean, they gave up that one touchdown drive, but so
by the way, I love your dad. He is so right on.
But then but no, the defense played great. Your offense just couldn't get no points.
But I mean,
in Maryland, damn it.
I mean, in Dallas's defense, though, what offense has been able to get a lot of points on San Francisco lately?
Oh no,
but it's not even that. Really. It's not even that guy. Look, if you look at it from a defensive standpoint, Dallas kicked the shit out of the 49ers for the majority of it. They really honestly did. They gave them very little. Very little. Yeah, it wasn't until like the third or fourth quarter that they actually got in the end zone. They were pretty much keeping, San Francisco to nothing but field goals. And I'm thinking like
that's what I said when the playoffs started too. I said theoretically Dallas had the easiest road to get to the NFC Championship game if they could do it. And I even said the toughest game that San Francisco was going to have was going to be that Dallas game because the Dallas defense is very similar to that San Francisco defense.
Oh, absolutely it is. And the thing about it is, and I'm telling you, and I think you know that too, that game was going to come down to whoever could throw the least amount of turnovers. And that's what happened. Purdy didn't throw the ball. He didn't turn the ball over. San Francisco didn't turn the ball over at all. But then you look at
Purdy outplayed. Purdy outplayed Dak.
Purdy outplayed Dak. Hell, my sister at this
point can we start having the conversation now that regardless if Jimmy Garoppolo comes back next year, regardless if Trey Lance comes back next year, this is Purdy's team.
Oh, it's Purdy's team. If they don't, I swear to God, if they're stupid enough to give the ball next year to anybody else other than Purdy, well then the 49ers they're worse than Jerry Jones. If that's the case, they're worse than Jerry Jones.
I think that would just be the starter next year.
I think he's a starter going forward for that franchise for a long period of time.
I mean, you can't. The guy's 8-0 as a starter this year. He's got 17 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. You really can't take him out right now. Even if he were to lose to Philadelphia next week, you really can't take him out of that starting spot next year.
Nobody's going to take a guy who's.
And here's the thing too. He's 8-0, but it's not like they're winning. They're winning in spite of him. He's helping them win. Hell, their offense has scored real points since he started. I mean, he's got more part of it.
He's got more passing yards in the 8 games than Jimmy Garoppolo had during the year. He's got more passing yards in the 8 games than Trey Lance only played 1 game, but he's got more passing yards like a per game average than what Lance and Garoppolo was even doing.
Yeah. And if you look at all the offensive numbers are all up, scoring, everything.
Having Deebo Samuel back does help that, and having McCaffrey go off does help that. But yeah,
I mean, all the weapons around him help. Don't get me wrong.
And that's the thing. I was just thinking the same thing your dad was thinking. So who do they trade? Are you trading Lance or are you trading Garoppolo? I think if I'm the 49ers, I'm keeping Garoppolo and I'm trading Lance. I'm trading Trey Lance and get draft picks.
Now, I think at this point, they keep Trey Lance just because he was the number 4 pick. With Garoppolo being a free agent,
you don't need a number 4 pick because you got Purdy who's playing 10 times better than Trey Lance. What do you need him for?
Because you can do kind of those packages that the 49ers were doing last year when Garoppolo was the starter. You have design packages specifically designed for Trey Lance, whether it's goal line situations for quarterback draws or if you need like a trick play that you can pull out of the bag, you have a guy like Trey Lance that you can have specific packages put in place for him. Versus Jimmy Garoppolo's a free agent after this year. They're going to let him hit the free agent market. And when you look at a team like the New York Jets, I expect Jimmy Garoppolo to end up with the Jets because he has that relationship with Robert Saleh from when Saleh was with San Francisco.
Yeah. I feel like, I've been saying this all along, and I'm glad Frankie's here finally. Jesus, man. It's about time you showed your ass up. Damn. Now Tony can stop calling Frankie a pussy. Jesus Christ, what a time to be alive.
Tony knows better.
Frankie, you know that, man. Look, everybody knows I've been saying all along, man. Hey, at this point though, they asked Jerry Jones if he was good, if McCarthy's job was in danger, and he emphatically said no. Bullshit. He's saying no right now because they got to put a game plan together. He's not gonna just give you the cards right off the rip. Nobody's gonna do that.
Okay, as a Cowboys
Right
fan,
now, there's no way.
I
Jay,
agree that McCarthy's job is not in danger, but I think Kellen Moore's job's in danger.
I think it's going to be gone.
I think Kellen Moore is going to be gone before McCarthy.
Yeah,
because Kellen Moore's the holdover from Jason Garrett's staff. McCarthy's the one that brought in Dan Quinn, and since he brought in Dan Quinn, that defense has been a top 10 defense since Dan Quinn has been there. I think you let McCarthy bring in his own offensive coordinator to see if anything changes just because Kellen Moore was that holdover from Jason Garrett's staff.
Yeah, I mean, if they let Kellen Moore go, they want to ride another year with McCarthy, that's fine. And I think, and that may be what they do. Maybe they do let Kellen Moore go. Maybe they bring in somebody else they think they can do that job. But I don't think that's gonna. Hold on. Hey, listen. Hey, I'm late to the party. You relax. I'm a loser. You're a loser. You ain't seen the playoffs in 3 years, or the Super Bowl in 3 years.
Jay.
And it doesn't look like you're going to see the Super Bowl anytime soon. I'll tell you right now, it could be 17 years from now. I'm looking at Gonzo. Gonzo's looking at me. We're old as fuck. We're looking at over at Frankie over there. Yo, Frank, you went and tell me last time the Patriots been in the Super Bowl. Frankie be like 2019.
Oh God.
Jay, you want to hear something?
Isn't that more relevant than you?
What was that?
Hold on, isn't that more relevant than you? That's a more relevant title than the Cowboys, right?
Look, if you want to live in 2019, if you want to live in 2019, you stay in 2019, okay? You just stay in 2019.
I'm living in 2023.
Jay, you want to hear something that's really funny though?
You know where you're living at?
Hold on, Frankie. Let that guy say something.
Jay, you want to hear something that's really funny?
What's that?
Of all the four quarterbacks that are playing for the Super Bowl this upcoming weekend, none of them were alive the last time the Cowboys made the Super Bowl.
Okay, and
I'm just saying that's fun.
You can make that same reference to pretty much Minnesota. When's the last time your Minnesota Vikings?
No, I know. I'm just saying though with the joke about the Cowboys though.
No. I got you. Here we go. You want to come in here and say some shit and then leave? Look, the only thing that's popular about the Vikings is if I watch Vikings Valhalla on Netflix. If I try to watch Vikings on regular TV, I'm like, who the fuck is this janky ass franchise? Come on, you just got slaughtered by the freaking Giants. You just got their asses whooped by the Eagles, and you want to come?
We lost by 7 points. We didn't get slaughtered. We lost by 7, but yes, we still lost. A loss is a loss, nonetheless. But I'm just saying the Cowboys are always considered.
How many times in the regular season, and how many times did Dallas spank your ass? I'm pretty sure Dallas went there and spanked. Hell, did the Colts go in there and spank you?
No, Colts got
we beat the Colts. We beat the Colts 39-36.
I'm just asking because there was a lot of teams that went there and spanked Minnesota. If you go back and look at them, I think what is that? I think Detroit went in there and won, didn't they? What a time to be alive! What a time to be alive! Let Jared Goff go in there and spank your ass. It's all good. It's all good. All I know is. Let me ask you this. Realistically, you look at New England, you see how much of a fuck up they are right now with no offensive coordinator, Bill Belichick over there riding loose in the saddle, and yet they can't even make the damn playoffs this year because of that. You would think he would learn that back in days with Tom Brady when they did the same thing and they lost. When do you think that the Patriots, realistically, when do you think the Patriots will be relevant again?
You know what's real funny is you say we're a total fuck up, but you're
I'm not asking a question. I'm asking the panel. I'm asking the panel a question. I'm just asking the panel a question.
You are asking the panel, but I'm telling you that what you're asking is real dumb because you're saying our total team is a fuck up when it's just you're naming one obvious mistake that's on our team that's messing up, and it's an offensive coordinator position. But once we get an offensive coordinator,
that's a pretty big fuck up, though. Don't you think?
And we
don't you think that's a pretty big fuck up though? I mean, seriously. No, but Frankie, don't you think that was a pretty big fuck up though? No, it isn't. You don't think so?
No, it isn't. Because guess what? Now
did you make the playoffs this year? Did you make the playoffs? No, I'm just asking. Did you make the playoffs?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it matters.
It don't matter. We made the playoffs. Or
Yeah,
not.
it matters.
Really. We all knew.
Your ass is at home doing nothing, cleaning your daughter's room because you had nothing to look forward to over the weekend. Come on, Frankie. Do better. Do better and be better.
Hold on.
You call Buffalo the losers, and you weren't even in the playoffs.
The New England Patriots.
How crazy is that?
We all knew that the Patriots were gonna freaking not make it to the playoffs. Everybody said that from the beginning. So you can't sit here and say, "Oh, New England."
How'd you get in that out?
Sometimes you just gotta let Frankie stew in the corner.
Sometimes you just gotta allow Jay not to be on this panel. He act like I don't have control anymore.
No, but honestly, just tell me the truth, man. I mean, like, when do you see your team being anything Super Bowl worthy? When is the next time you think that's going to happen for you guys? And how long?
I tell you, this is not going to be as long as the Cowboys.
I don't know. How do you know that?
I know that.
You got a guy over there, Mac Jones, and
because Mac Jones.
You got Mac Jones and Zappy.
Because if you give Mac Jones that, oh my God.
You got Mac Jones and Zappy. Where are you going?
Let me take him out for a minute so some people can talk in here. You put Mac Jones with an offensive coordinator, and he's going to be a perfect player. That's what it's shown when he was with Josh McDaniels. So if you go ahead and you give him that offensive coordinator that he needs so badly, Mac Jones will perform at an outstanding level. And you can't say anything about Bailey Zappi because Bailey Zappi came in and he had an undefeated start, did he not? Just saying. I mean,
exactly.
And now we could bring
Zappy for crying out loud.
He's still talking. Look,
Jay, but what you're saying about Bailey Zappi, how many people were feeling the same way when Brock Purdy took over? And then Brock Purdy has now earned the respect because he's 8-0.
No, Brock Purdy got it. Right, Brock Purdy not only got them to the playoffs, but he got them to the NFC Championship showdown.
I get that, but
a hell of a lot more than Zappy or Mac Jones.
Because Zappy was 3-1. Zappy was 3-1 as a starter, and then Bill Belichick went back to Mac Jones. Who's to say Patriots?
That sounds like a Bill Belichick problem, then, doesn't it?
Who's to say the Patriots wouldn't have made the playoffs with Zappy? Because Zappy was playing well.
So maybe he saw something in Zappy or in Mac Jones that he didn't see in Zappy. Hell, I don't know. All I know is neither one of those motherfuckers are in the playoffs. Either one of them. So maybe the problem now has been Bill Belichick. Hell, maybe Tom Brady made Bill Belichick. Maybe now we see who the real star was in New England. Well, maybe Gronkowski made Brady and Brady made fucking Bill Belichick. Fuck.
But honestly, if you look at
that
New England team, it's not like they're that far off from being a playoff team or a playoff contender, Jay. They were right there this year. They need to.
Hey, listen, right there.
You
know what? There's a few times that I've been right there,
they're right there to be in the
playoffs, and it didn't happen. Okay, shit happens. But at the end of the day, did I know 3 girls? No, I didn't. I know 1.
Jay is
so mad. Being right there is being right there, but it's not being there. No, I'm just saying it's not being there.
Yeah, I know they wasn't there, but I'm saying they're not as far off as you're making it sound.
Well, maybe they are, because if you're not there, how do you know how far off they are? How do you know how far off the Patriots really are? They have no offensive coordinator. They have no continuity. I mean, come on. How far do you know how far they can go? I don't buy it. I don't buy into that whole Patriots thing right now. I mean, look, the Cowboys. Cowboys had their run in the 90s. Hey, look, the Cowboys had their run in the 90s. So did San Francisco had their run in the 90s. Cowboys had their run in the 70s. How many runs has New England put together? You had a great run with Tom Brady. Nobody's going to take that away from you. But that run's over. It's done. It's in the books. There's no Tom Brady coming back to New England.
But here's the problem. Hey, Jay, here's the problem with your argument there, though.
I mean, what's the problem with the argument?
That run with Tom Brady was like 17 years. Yeah. It was longer than any of the other runs that you were talking about.
I get that. Hey, listen, I applaud him. I applaud him. Okay, great. But Tom Brady's gone.
I'm not a Tom Brady or New England fan, but I'm just saying
that Tom Brady era is done. It's not ever coming back. Now what are you gonna do?
The Tom Brady era. The Tom Brady era is not coming back because of Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow right now. Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow are now what the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady era was.
Yeah. I mean, all I'm saying is right now that Tom Brady shit's done. And we know that before Tom Brady got to New England was nothing. Zero. Zip. Nobody gave a fuck. Never even heard of them. Didn't give a shit. Now Brady's gone. And they're kind of going back to, okay, how long are we going to be talking about now? I mean, I guess we got to wait 15 years. We'll have the same conversation in 15 years. But yeah.
All right,
Man, again, hey, you know what? I could kind of see Gonzo's argument and Frankie's argument, and really, I think that guy's probably got the same argument where I think the offensive coordinator is the holdover from that Jason Garrett era. So if you want to keep Mike McCarthy and let Kellen Moore go, that's fine. I hope you bring in a better offensive coordinator, number one. Number two, do you really want to take a chance and not make a run for Sean Payton? For me personally, I'm taking a shot at Sean Payton. I'm going to make that shot.
But what are you going to have to give up to get Sean Payton?
That's okay. Whatever I give up, I'll suck it up. I'll live through it, and we'll get where we got to go. I mean, if it's a first rounder, okay, give a preferred. Because right now, with Mike McCarthy at the helm, what have we gotten anyway? Truthfully,
he's saying all of this right now because he's trying to be like the non-biased Cowboys fan.
I've been saying this since day one. I said
stop that.
When they brought in Mike McCarthy, I said he's not the right guy for this job. And I've even been saying the same thing about Kellen Moore. And I've also said the same thing about Dak Prescott. I said if Dak Prescott can't limit the turnovers, that Dallas doesn't have a chance. I've been saying this since day one. And I never said we were Super Bowl bound. I said we were definitely wild card worthy. And we'll see how far we go. And we took out Tampa Tom. So it is what it is.
You took out Tampa Tom, but you never beat New England Tom.
I don't want to talk about New England Tom. New England Tom is buried. Hey, listen, we had a funeral for that Tom. Okay, he's done.
You didn't have no funeral for him because he was 7-0 versus you guys.
Losers. Not anymore. Not anymore. He's not undefeated anymore against us, though, is he? Because Tom Brady.
Because he was in Tampa.
Tom Brady's done. And maybe he goes to Vegas, and maybe he does something out there with Vegas. But
let me ask you guys this: Is Joe Burrow starting to prove that he's the best quarterback in the NFL?
Man, he's looking good.
If he can win on Sunday, he is the best quarterback in the AFC.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's saying a lot because Mahomes is damn good.
Versus Mahomes, he's 2-0 versus the Chiefs. So if he could do it again,
well, it's actually 3-0 versus the Chiefs. They beat him twice last year, and then they beat him this year.
I think the more important question to ask about that particular game, though, when the Bengals meet the Chiefs, is, is it really going to be the Chiefs? Because that gimped up leg of Patrick Mahomes, that high ankle sprain of Patrick Mahomes, how effective do you expect him to be against the Bengals?
If you look at the stats from Saturday, he had better numbers after the ankle sprain than he did before the ankle sprain.
Yeah, but you haven't let that. But once he does that cleat, as we all know, and that swelling comes into play, it ain't going to be the same problem. He's going to have a different set of problems.
It's going to be interesting to see how well he can move. But
you played football, didn't you? That guy.
Did I play football?
Yeah.
No.
Anybody in here play football?
I played football. Well, I played middle school. I didn't play in high school.
Frankie, you play football?
I played football. Yeah.
So hey, listen, I've had a high ankle sprain before, and I could still play the game. I was hobbling, but I could still finish the game. But I swear to God, man, when my dad got me home and he took off that cleat and that shit swelled the fuck up, I was done. I was done. There was no next week game. There was no nothing. I mean, we'll see. I mean,
I've sprained ankles before.
But we all know sports medicine can do wonders when it comes to swelling, reducing swelling. I mean, they got so much drugs out there and things that they can do. So we'll see what Patrick Mahomes how well he does. I'm pretty sure he'll play, but
they'll give him a shot, tape it up, and see what he can do. I mean, that's about all you can do if you're going to try playing.
He already went out and said that he's going to play no matter what.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I fully expect him to play. I do. I just wonder how effective he's going to be, though, when he does play. Is he going to be able to run? Is he going to be able to cut? Is he going to do all the things that Patrick Mahomes does, to be Patrick Mahomes?
Definitely not. I mean, both you and
Especially
me
because
know how.
hey, Frankie, what's the one pass he loves to do? He loves to do that over the middle jump pass. He loves. I've seen it several times.
And he actually did that. He actually did that in the. He did that on his last touchdown pass to Marquez Valdez-Scantling on the opposite foot on Saturday. Yeah. So even with the bum ankle, he still found a way to do the jump pass.
But again, I'm gonna take that adrenaline out of his body. He's gonna go out there with the normal body without that adrenaline pumping through. Do you really think he's gonna be the same, perform at that same level?
He'll probably be working on it all week in practice. He'll probably be working on different ways to throw the football all week in practice to take pressure off of that ankle.
And you're going to be playing against a better. You're going to be playing against a better defense with Cincy than Jacksonville.
Let's be honest. Can he do things in practice to be able to play in the game? Sure, he can. Are you telling me that that's 100% Patrick Mahomes? Hell no. And he's going to go up against a really good Cincinnati Bengals defense that just did a good business over there on Josh Allen. Okay, well, go out there with that makeshift Patrick Mahomes. And we'll see what happens. My money's riding on the Bengals.
I don't know, AP. I don't think Jacksonville's defense is better than Cincy's defense.
Definitely not.
I would not say that.
Definitely not.
Although they do have, I tell you, that Jacksonville team though is looking pretty scary coming into next year, though.
They're going to be scary next year.
Oh my God! And then they're going straight defense in the draft to bolster up that defense. Could you imagine getting Calvin Ridley back? And then
they're not going to be drafting. They won't be drafting defense next year. They're going to be drafting offensive line because Jacksonville still had a top 15 defense. They're going to be drafting.
I think they're taking best available when they draft, and I guess we'll have to wait and see where that falls at. But yeah,
Trevor Lawrence. Just think about it. Trevor Lawrence is going to have Zay Jones. He's going to have Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram if they re-sign him because he had a phenomenal year with them after being terrible.
I think they re-signed him.
They'll have Christian Kirk yet. Marvin Jones the third, or Marvin Jones will still have.
They're just going to be dominant on the offensive side. So I agree with that stats guy. Where if I'm the Jacksonville Jaguars, I will ump up our offensive line to protect Trevor Lawrence. And then later on, late in the draft, if you want to go defense, or even if you got.
What if there's a better defensive guy available over the offensive line? Who are you taking?
Jacksonville's got the third or fourth most money to spend this offseason. If they're going to spend money, they're going to spend the money on defense and free agency, and then they will draft offensive line help, and they'll draft younger guys on offense because you have Trevor Lawrence 24, you have Travis Etienne 23, you have Christian Kirk 26, and Zay Jones 26. So a large portion of that Jacksonville offense is all 26 years old or younger. A large portion.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so I have a feeling they're going to use most of their money in free agency on defense for the parts that they want to get. And I think they go offensive line, first round, maybe even first 2 rounds, and then after that, best available after that. Because Trevor Lawrence was still sacked a ton of times this year. He was sacked around 48 or 50 times this year, which is in the bottom third of the league. So they still need to get him protection up front.
Is Doug Peterson a defensive coach or offensive coach?
Offensive coach. He was the offensive coordinator in Kansas City under Andy Reid before he took the Philly job.
So that I think that's what he's going to look at in the draft is bumping up the offense, and then he's going to focus on defense.
I don't look at the Jets as being scary. I know Anthony Price is talking about, what about the Jets when we say Jacksonville will be scary. I don't see the Jets being scary.
I see the Jets being scary because they were scary at one point this season. And then they couldn't decide on what quarterback they wanted to go with the rest of the year. The Jets were 7-2 at one point this season. And they were playing very well, and then they decided, Mike White had a bad game, so let's go back to Zach Wilson. And then they went into their tailspin because they went from Zach Wilson back to Mike White to Joe Flacco back to Zach Wilson. Yeah. They couldn't decide what they wanted to do at quarterback.
That's why I don't look at them as being scary. I don't look at their coaches.
I was going to say, until they find their quarterback, I don't know if they're scary. They got a good defense, but they're not very good, especially without Breece Hall. And then
I'm going to say, when you talk about next year teams and playing next year teams, the Jets, I looked at them as being a good team. But I'm not looking at them as somebody I'm scared of. I would say
okay. So can we all agree on this though? I think Detroit's going to be a scary team next year.
Oh yeah,
I think Detroit's going to cause problems for a lot of people next year.
I do, especially if they
Especially
fix that offensive line a little bit.
Especially if they
And then
re-sign or
like-
extend
like
Jared
defense.
Goff, which I expect him to do. With that offense, with how much that defense has improved, that's going to be a scary team in Detroit.
So going back to the Jets, I just want to say I'm never scared of them because, like Jay said, we were horrible, didn't have an offensive coordinator, and yet the Patriots went 2-0 against them. The Jets are supposedly on paper better than the Patriots this year, and what happened? The Patriots beat them both. So I'm never scared of the Jets because they can be good in the beginning of the year, but they end up somehow, some way finding a way to choke for them and their fan base towards the middle and end of the season. I don't know what it is with the Jets. I don't know if it's quarterback wise, or I don't know if it's defensive wise. I don't know. But as a Patriot fan, I'm never scared of the Jets. Detroit, on the other hand, Detroit's making it to the playoffs next year.
I think so too. The only thing that could have hurt Detroit losing some of their coordinators.
Well, they already said Ben Johnson is staying on as the OC.
That was big. That was big getting him back.
And then Aaron Glenn has already said he's going to stay on as the DC. So they're really not losing any of their main coordinators.
If they'd have lost them two, then I'd have been like a little worried about it. But yeah, because that offensive coordinator's done a hell of a job, I think.
And if you look at a lot of their games, too, they lost by, 6 points to Philadelphia early in the year. They lost to the 49ers by like 6 or 7. They let the first game against Minnesota get away. They let another game middle of the season get away. That Lions team was realistically 14 points away from winning 12 games this year.
Yeah. Yeah, they lost a lot of games that they had double-digit lead in at a point in the game.
And I don't think the Lions do need to draft a quarterback. I think Jared Goff is the quarterback of the future for the Lions because he's still only 27 going on 28. He still can easily sign.
I think if you're the Lions, you still got to be upgrading that pass rush or upgrading your offensive line.
If I did draft a quarterback,
two areas.
If I did draft a quarterback, it would be in like the later rounds of the draft, like maybe.
There's not even that much quarterbacks to draft this year.
No,
there's really not that much quarterbacks to draft this year.
No, I don't. I agree. I don't think there's.
Especially when you look at what Jared Goff did at home this year. In his 8 home games this year, he had 23 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
Doesn't Caleb Williams come out next year or this upcoming draft?
Or not
next year.
Not this draft, but next draft, I mean.
Yeah.
Next year, 2024.
Yeah. So that's going to be a hot pickup.
I mean, this year they only have about
Bryce Young. Those will be hot pickups this year too.
4 or 5 top name quarterbacks that are in the draft this year. Really not that much. I mean, if the Lions were going to look for a quarterback, they should have done it in 2020 or 2021, the year with Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, Zach Williams, all of them. They should have looked at a quarterback, and clearly they didn't. So,
God, what if the Colts? What if the Colts say, you know what, we're going to stink it up again, and we're going to go draft Caleb Williams number 1. And 24, we're going to make our comeback in 24. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea with Caleb Williams,
though.
Huh?
I mean, Chris, do you really want to wait another year for a quarterback, or do you want to go now with a high draft pick to try and get a quarterback this year?
Honestly, I've been saying this. I don't think the Colts are going to draft a quarterback.
I think they trade for Derek Carr.
I think they're going to get Derek Carr or Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think they're
going to try that.
Either one of those are somewhat attractive.
Well, you try to build the team that way, and if it don't work, worst thing, like you said, you got a high draft pick next year. And I like the quarterbacks coming out.
Chris, I'm on the same thought process you are, but I might be thinking more long term than you are.
I'm hoping Derek Carr comes in and
I'm hoping that I think that Derek Carr comes to Indianapolis. But if the Colts struggle again with Derek Carr next year, I could see the Colts struggling or playing right around 500 the next couple of years, and then trying to get Archie Manning when he goes out.
Oh, I wouldn't be mad about that. I really don't know if.
Yeah, but you gotta hope and pray that Archie Manning, comes to fruition. I mean, the dude hasn't even had one college snap yet.
He's the
dude.
He's better than what Peyton and Eli were.
He's gonna be the next guy that, like we were talking about, like Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
I hope he is. I hope he is. But sometimes I just know sometimes things can get lost in translation, going from one level to another level.
Well, they were talking about this morning on ESPN, very similar to when Trevor Lawrence was a freshman at Clemson, where if you did not have to go to college in the NFL and you had the option to go from high school to the XFL or go from high school to the USFL, Archie Manning would be a starting quarterback in the USFL right now or the XFL and would probably play one season in either one of those leagues and then be the number one pick in the 2024 draft.
Well, I know that the Colts.
It sounds good. I mean, that's a lot of speculation. It sounds good. And again, Archie Manning's high school records, do support it. But at the end of the day, it's still all speculation until he puts some cleats on, steps out on that field of professional athletes, and then you got to see where he goes from there. I mean,
first of all,
I don't know. That's a lot of what if.
I understand they need a quarterback, but their mindset right now should say, who are we going to have to coach this team to lead that quarterback? Because they just Saturday is not the answer.
They need D'Amico Ryans.
D'Amico Ryans canceled his interview with him.
Wait, who did he cancel it with?
The Colts.
With the Colts saying somebody else. He interviewed with the Texans and the Broncos, and he canceled with the Colts. And from what I'm hearing, he's going to the Texans.
Really?
I could see that just because he would have an opportunity to draft what quarterback he wants to draft at pick number 2, whether it's Bryce Young or CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
From reports I was seeing yesterday that when he canceled with the Colts, reports was that him and Houston, it was getting real hot. That's where he's going to end up at.
What, so Houston can hire a third black coach in as many seasons and fire a third black coach in as many seasons?
No, I don't. Yeah, but D'Amico Ryans, I think he's a little bit more, in today's NFL. Versus,
I'll be honest with you.
Lovie Smith was kind of old school NFL, and that's why I never really believed in Lovie Smith.
My dad
Who's
the Colts' next coach going to be? And you can ask. I've been saying it. It's going to be Jeff Saturday. He's going to be.
Well, if it's Jeff Saturday, y'all are definitely going to be getting the first round pick next year.
I've had that gut feeling since the beginning, and I still think that's who. And from the reports I hear from, like Indianapolis area reporters, like from newspapers that cover the Colts and stuff.
Hey, well, as of 2 hours ago, they have 3 new candidates that are interviewing that you might like.
Yeah, they've interviewed like 13 people.
Well, you have Raheem Morris, who's going to be, but you have Rick
Bisaccia.
Bisaccia.
Yep, they're going to interview
Rick Bisaccia, and then they also are going to be interviewing Pat McAfee.
Oh God,
Pat McAfee, let him be the head coach of the Colts.
That'd be fucking awesome. That'd be awesome. Hey, we might not win, but it'd be entertaining as fuck. I guarantee it. Hey, I'm watching the Pat McAfee show right now. Bring it, Pat McAfee. I'll jump on that board.
That guy would volunteer to be mic'd up every single Sunday on the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, you don't want to.
Did you see? Hey, speaking of that, Sirianni on the sidelines, man, cussing out referees, saying, "I know where the fuck I'm allowed to be." Sirianni was going crazy over there, pointing at the cameras and shit. I loved it though.
Yeah, but he's got a great team over there too. He can do whatever you want.
That's going to be a good game, 49ers and Eagles.
Oh God, it's going to be exasperatingly good. It's going to be amazing.
I think it comes down to the Eagles' rush defense. If they can stop that run, I think they'll have a good chance. But I've been on the 49ers for a long time. But hey, the two teams I've been saying, 49ers and Bengals, that's what I said for the Super Bowl. Hopefully,
I still think though. You know what? Hey, I believe that. I've said that too. I've even said 49ers and Bengals. I can see that. I think the 49ers. I think they get the Super Bowl this year. Honestly, if they get past the Eagles, I think the 49ers can get the Super Bowl. Or do you think?
Oh man, that damn Bengals team look awful fucking dominant against the Bills.
Well, 49ers and Bengals would be a hellified Super Bowl, wouldn't it? God. I mean, you talk about two evenly matched teams going at it rather than, a juggernaut going against, David and Goliath type matchup. Yeah.
Oh, no, I agree, Dad. You can't trust the Colts management if they keep Saturday, but I think that's just from everything I'm hearing, it sounds like that's what's going to happen. And they said he's already been putting together a coaching staff and stuff. So
that's insane when your offensive coordinator and probably even your defensive coordinator that you bring in have more coaching experience than your head coach. I mean, is that just ass backwards to me or what? That just sounds a lot of ass backwards.
Anthony Price says, "What does everybody think will happen to Leftwich?"
Leftwich got fired.
Yeah, well, he got fired, but where does he go from here? Will there be head coaching jobs for him?
No, they'll be.
I think his value went down a little bit because of the way the offense performed this year. He was, I think his value was higher a year or two ago. I wonder if he might get another offensive.
Jacksonville job.
I think he has a better chance of getting another offensive coordinator job before he gets a head coaching job.
I could
Do
see
you
him
think he regrets turning down the Jaguars job though?
I think he does in a way, but at the same time, I don't think Jacksonville regrets giving it to Doug Peterson.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm trust me. From their side of it, we know. I'm just wondering from Leftwich's side. Do you think he's like, damn, I really messed up. I should have took that job.
Yeah, he does, just because that's probably going to be the only head coaching option he gets for a while.
Oh, the Texans, man. Oh, yeah, I agree with that too. You can't trust the Texans management either.
I don't know. Like I said, I understand where Tony's coming from when he talks about Texas management. I think Dan Culley was the most out of the hires that they've let go. Dan Culley should not have been let go. He should have been allowed to continue the mission with that team. The Lovie Smith hire, I just did not agree with at all. I don't know why you let go of Dan Culley just to bring in Lovie Smith. That makes no sense to me.
They never should have got rid of Bill. They never should have got rid of Bill O'Brien.
What?
Whoa.
Bill O'Brien was a good head coach, but he was a terrible general manager. You should have taken the general manager duties away from.
He's going to timeout for that comment.
Let him finish what he was saying, then you can put him in timeout.
I think I'll put him in. You took him out.
Bill O'Brien made the playoffs 3 years in a row as the head coach of the Texans. So he was a good head coach in the NFL. He just had no idea what he was doing once you gave him the general manager duties. They should have taken the general manager duties away from him and still let him be a head coach, because as a head coach, he wasn't bad. As a head coach with Penn State, he was not a bad head coach. It's just when he was given full control, that's when things started to go south in Houston.
First off, yeah, Tony, they did play hard for Lovie, no doubt about that. Lovie was a good guy. Nobody's gonna take away, his personality and things like that. It's just I think the game has kind of passed Lovie by a little bit. In terms of Bill O'Brien, yeah, was he a good coach at Penn State? Sure, he was a good coach, but college and NFL, sometimes you can marry it over and sometimes you can't. I think we saw that with Nick Saban. Sometimes you can marry it over, sometimes you can't. So, I take the Penn State out of the equation just because it's not the NFL.
He was 54. He was 54-42 as a coach with the Texans. That's not a bad record.
That's not a good record either.
But it's still
that sounds like a lot of mediocrity to me.
He still won 3 division championships. He still made the playoffs 3 times. He has a couple playoff wins. He almost beat the Kansas City. Well, he blew the 24-0 lead in Kansas City, but he still won a couple playoff games with Houston. It's not like he was a terrible coach. He still was a good enough coach where they would be contending for division titles every single year if he was the coach.
And that's what you believe.
Well, Jay, you got to understand, this is a Vikings fan we're talking to.
I mean, I see where he's coming from, though, because I think if the problem was him trying to do both jobs.
Yeah, you saw the same thing. You saw the same thing with Mike Holmgren.
I was going because you just heard Frankie say that this is coming from a Vikings fan, and then Gonzo chimes in. Well, I can see where he's coming from. Let's see, Vikings and Colts. How far off are we talking?
But you can look at Mike Holmgren. Look at Mike Holmgren.
Colts won the Super Bowls a lot.
Frankie got that one.
Cowboys have, brother.
Jay, look at Mike Holmgren, for example, when he was in Green Bay. One of the best coaches in the NFL when he was in Green Bay. He left to go to Seattle, and he got full control in Seattle. The moment he got full control in Seattle, he was not a very good head coach. 4 years later, he says, I don't want to be the GM anymore, and he went back to being just a head coach, and Seattle goes to the Super Bowl then. Mike Holmgren was a great head coach until he got that GM job and the head coach, and then he learned that you can't do both jobs at once. I think Bill O'Brien found out the same thing where once he got both jobs, he realized that you can't do both jobs at one time. If they would have strictly left Bill O'Brien.
That's not true. Hey, Frankie, is Bill Belichick the GM still, or y'all got a GM now?
He's GM and head coach.
There you go. But
then
again,
really,
hey, Jay, wait a minute. You can't use that as an argument because you just try to talk about the Patriots being trash. So how you going to use that
They
as an
are
argument?
trash, but still, Bill Belichick does have 6 rings, so you got to give him a little bit of credit. You got to give him a little bit. You got to give him a little bit of credit. Hey, look,
you'll never get consistency out of him.
Hey, listen. Hey, I told you, man. Tom Brady made that damn team. We all know that shit. I don't think Bill Belichick made that damn team. Tom Brady made that damn team. And it's true. It's true. Let me ask you guys a question. Where would the Patriots have gone had Tom never got there? If they never got there, and they were still riding with Drew Bledsoe, are we really talking about the Patriots? Are we really talking about Bill Belichick?
Because Bledsoe wasn't a bad quarterback.
No, I'm not saying he was a bad quarterback. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is would they have gotten to where they are now without Tom?
Yeah, because Bledsoe went to 2 Super Bowls already.
Did he win?
No, he didn't win.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if he won or not.
No,
I just wasn't sure if he won or not, Frankie. Don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you, the guy that you think could get you there didn't get you there. He got you to. He got you. You know what he did? He got you to the hotel. He got you to a nice dinner. He got you to the practice facility, only to lose the game, go home, and take a cold shower.
But that wasn't the game. That wasn't the question he asked. The question he had asked is, if Drew Bledsoe was still there, where would the Patriots?
First of all, there's no X in asked. Okay, it's ACTS, but okay.
I said asked.
No, you said asked. Like I don't know what an asked is.
He's so mad today about the Cowboys losing that he's.
I don't think the Patriots get to 7 or 8 with Drew Bledsoe, but I think they can get to at least 2 or 3 with Drew Bledsoe.
No, Jay, you don't get the rights to be here right now. You're still in timeout.
Yeah, plus because how old was Bledsoe at that time?
33, 34.
Yeah, so he probably wanted maybe could have played maybe 5-6 more years, maybe.
I think Bledsoe win. I think Bledsoe would win at least 1 Super Bowl.
Maybe
New England, and maybe get him to 3 or 4, but he wouldn't have obviously gotten him to 7 because obviously most of that came after Tom Brady got there.
And at that time, players weren't playing until they were fucking 40 or 5. I mean, 8 quarterbacks were gone when they were 38, 39. Even maybe
Drew Bledsoe got cracked against the Jets back in the day. That's what ended his career.
Oh, yeah.
The man got crazy hit hard.
Oh yeah. Bledsoe would take
but at the end of the day, man, no matter who's your coach on the sideline, if the players on the field don't do their jobs or don't get their jobs done, it doesn't matter who. You could have fucking Bill Belichick could go to the Colts, and they could play great. They could play great. But again, if they don't do the job on the field, how good is Bill Belichick really if it doesn't happen on the field? And that's where Tom Brady, I felt like, was more responsible for New England's success than Bill Belichick. Because at the end of the day, Tom is the one that had to go on the field and put the ball in the air, put the ball in the receivers, do the right things. He's the one that got them those wins. Yes, Bill Belichick gave him a roadmap, but Tom still had to execute said roadmap.
But let me ask you this. If that's your argument,
it's a good argument.
Well, wait a minute. What was the New York Giants record last year?
I don't even know. Be honest with you,
they got a new coach, have basically the same team, and they made the playoffs this year. So it shows you how much.
They didn't make the playoffs this year. You said the Jets, right?
Made the playoffs.
Giants.
Oh, you said. I'm sorry. No, I thought you said Jets. I'm sorry.
And honestly, Chris, you could argue that the Giants had a worse team this year than what they had last year because they didn't have Sterling Shepard. They didn't have Darius Slayton for half of the year. They traded away Cardavius Toney in week 6. So pretty much that entire receiving room they had last year wasn't even there for a good portion of the season this year, and they still made the playoffs. So on paper, you could even say they had a worse roster this year than they had last year.
That's what I'm saying. So getting that right coach is a big deal.
It is a big deal. I'm not trying to minimize that. I'm not trying to minimize the weight that a right head coach can have. All I'm saying is you have to have that same, if not more, equal or greater than weight at your quarterback spot. You know what I'm saying? Because the coach is only as good. He can only do so much from that little piece of placard that he holds in front of his face. The guy out there with the ball in his hand still has to make that whatever the coach wanted come to fruition. You know what I'm saying? So you could throw, for example, Mike Hughes. For example, hey, you could throw maybe who would be? I'm trying to think of a good example, man. Like you could throw Trevor Lawrence in that New England scheme with Bill Belichick. You know what I'm saying? And Bill Belichick can call the best game plan ever. If Trevor Lawrence don't execute, or even take Bledsoe, for example. How many Super Bowls would they've gotten with Drew Bledsoe? Honestly. And he said they're the full term.
I think they'd have got 1 or 2. Because he wouldn't have played no more 10, 15 more years like Brady was able to. Because he was already in his 30s.
Interesting.
I'm just saying I think the right head coach is just as important as having the right quarterback. Look what Trevor Lawrence looked like last year with Urban Meyer. Now look what he looks like with Doug Peterson.
I get that, but that also had to do with Urban Meyer having no NFL response. No, there was like that was just an ultimate setup for failure.
Look at the Minnesota Vikings this year. They had the exact same team that Mike Zimmer had. You bring in Kevin O'Connell, and that team goes from 8-9 to 13-4 with the exact same roster.
Yep.
And yet your defense still sucks.
I'm not saying our defense didn't suck, but I'm just saying the exact same roster, and you bring in a different head coach, and you won 5 more games.
But to Dustin's point, Mike Zimmer was a defensive-minded guy, and that defense still fucking sucked. So it didn't.
O'Connell was not a defensive-minded guy; he's an offensive-minded guy. But you still had literally.
But wasn't all the beef though back then was that they felt like Zimmer was setting up Cousins to fail anyway, like he wasn't on Team Cousins' side.
Zimmer is an asshole.
If you hear all these stories since Zimmer has left Minnesota about what he did in that locker room and what kind of culture he created, there's a reason why Mike Zimmer has not been hired as a defensive coordinator. There's a reason why no one is going to ever hire Mike Zimmer again.
Yep, he's a jackbag.
There's a reason why Minnesota had 6 different offensive coordinators in 8 years under Mike Zimmer because nobody could stand working with the guy.
Hey Jay, I see this guy walking outside right now in shorts. That's awesome.
But yeah, like Brian Dable and Kevin O'Connell are the perfect.
That is nice.
Yeah, it's like,
hey, I see you got. Hey, hold on, Mike Hughes. I see you got that you got that muffler fixed. Any chance of getting an Astros jersey to carry it forward?
I'm gonna get a Trey Mancini one.
Hey, that's fine. You could go get a Trey, man. It just better have Astros on the front.
Hey, just go buy you a Cubs. Hey, Mike, go buy a Cubs Trey Mancini jersey, and then just get you an Astro sticker to cover it up. So then after you wear it, you can just take it off and you have your Cubs jersey.
Oh yeah.
Hey! No, it better be a real freaking Astro shit. Okay, Gonzo. Damn.
Bullshit. It's gonna be fake as hell. I just want to go home. This is driving for Mike.
So, who you guys got? Eagles and 49ers. Who you got advancing?
Babe, look, that's Mike Hughes. He's fucking sexy, isn't he? Look at that jaw structure.
But he does have a butt chin. Have you ever noticed that? Mike Hughes has a butt chin.
I don't have a butt.
I never realized that until I looked at it right there, and I said, you know what? I could take some toilet paper and totally wipe his chin.
I really don't.
You can definitely blow and wipe his ass at the same time.
Son of a bitch.
Man, what a time to be alive. Damn.
Listen, I'm going to hop off here. I got some things to do around the house. I hope you guys have a good show. Jay, I'm glad your boys are out of there, bro. I just laughed all night last night. I even went to sleep with a smile on my face for the first time in years.
Oh, yeah, Jay, your team sucks, bro. That's crazy. You guys suck. You're awful.
Well, you know, I take it as a compliment because listen.
Oh
listen.
My God, Jay.
Hold on.
My
Hey,
God,
Big Daddy,
so
Big Daddy Mike. Hey, I take that as a compliment because anybody who has sucked
Jay!
for as long as y'all have,
You're
you would
so
know who sucks and who
bad.
doesn't suck. I mean,
Jay.
let's be honest.
Jay, can
Let's
I
be
ask you
honest.
a question?
You're like an expert at suckology, dude.
Dude,
Seriously,
Jay,
you're like a resident expert. Your Cubs suck. Your Bears suck. Your Bulls suck.
Hold on.
You know, I mean, seriously,
Hold
bro. Like you're like one step away from a depression episode and a short cliff and a short rope.
Hey, quick question.
Man, I've said that wrong. It's a long cliff and a short rope. I'm sorry.
So you're a Rockets fan, a Cowboys fan, and a cheating ass Astros fan, and you want
Wait. Did we cheat last year? Mike Hughes, did we cheat last year?
Well, I'm still waiting.
No,
for
Mike Hughes, did we cheat last year? And we still fucking won. I rest my case, Cubs.
You ever have to have someone say, "Did we cheat last year?" Because you cheated every other fucking year.
Really? Okay, look, Chicago Black Sox. Hold on a minute now.
I'm not a Sox fan.
Hey, look, I'm sorry, Chicago Black Sox. You're coming in a little weak.
But I'm not
Chicago
a Sox
Black
fan.
Sox.
But I'm not a Sox fan.
You're coming in a little weak.
I'm not a Sox fan though.
Okay, and you're still a Chicago person, aren't you? Chicago?
I don't claim the South Side, sir. I don't.
Okay, so you're telling me all the good people go to the Cubs and all the bad people of Chicago go to the Sox. Like, you live in the South Side of Chicago? Because if so, you're a Sox fan. Shut up.
I live on the West Side, sir.
Do you live in the Southwest?
Oh man, all I gotta say is baseball season is coming up. We got a new look at the Cubs. So keep that same energy.
That's true, man. There is a new look.
Keep that same energy, bitch.
Hey, it's a new look, but it's still the same old team. Look, I could take a
like
Pinto.
the cheating Astros.
I can take a Pinto and I can put a $20,000 paint job on it, but at the end of the day, it's still a fucking Pinto.
And guess what? You could put a champion in front of Alex Bregman, but cheater still comes first.
That's funny because we won it last year and nobody was saying cheating last year. So what's your point?
But they were.
Well, what's your point?
Did somebody use the illegal bat?
Sad. You know what's really sad to me?
What?
Illegal bat used?
Hold on. He got us on the cheating in 2017. Okay, I'll give you that. But what happened in 18, 19, 20, 21, 22? Every year, we're still kicking ass. And you're still the same freaking Cubs.
You literally lost.
You literally are the same freaking Cubs. You took draft picks away from us, and we still kick your ass.
Hey, wasn't there an illegal bat used this year?
That's what Chicago is.
Hey,
Chicago is
Chris,
the
wasn't there
of the North.
Wasn't there a pitcher wiping his hand off so many
to the
times?
Nationals,
Yeah.
bro? You lost to the Nationals, bro? Dustin,
But you know what, though? You weren't even there to lose to anyone. You weren't even there to lose to anyone.
I won. My team won. That was, I don't know what you want me to tell you. We won.
Mike, you have not been relevant in Chicago for so long.
Hey Jay, the Cubs have won a World Series, and the Bears have been to a Super Bowl since the Cowboys have won anything.
And the Blackhawks.
Wait, Gonzo, wait. When was the last time Chicago Bears was in the Super Bowl? I do have to go.
2006 against the Indianapolis Colts when Devin Hester returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown in Miami in 52-degree weather and rain when Rex Grossman was the starting quarterback. And Lovie Smith was the head coach.
Jay, I got a question. Jay, wait, hold on. It's me and Jay talking. Everyone else is gone.
Because the last time I checked, the only Super Bowl the Bears have since the Cowboys have had their run in the 90s was back in '85.
Hi, Jay.
They didn't win the Super Bowl, but they were in the Super Bowl.
Well, hell.
Jay, can you hear me? Paging Jay. Jay McLaughlin.
Yes, I hear you.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
I'm going to count it. So I got 3. Hey, we're going to do this together. All right, I want you to put your hand up like this.
No, I'm not gonna do shit. I might give you the middle finger.
Put your hand up.
I might give you
Dustin.
Hey, watch this. It's got a friend.
That's cool, Jay. Don't worry. Dustin, I want you to put up on every finger, 1 finger for every team I name. So if I want to start off, 3 for the Chicago Blackhawks. We're going to put up 3. Then we have 1 for the Chicago Cubs. Then we have 1 for the Chicago Sky. Then we have another one. Hey, you want to say it's all Chicago?
Jay, you're muted.
For the Chicago White Sox. So Jay, all my question is, how many times have y'all won a championship with your teams in the last 20 years? I think you're muted, sir. I think you're muted.